Hello and welcome to Balanced Existence. Today I'm going to do a pretty open-ended reading, so I trust, as always, if you're here, that there is a message that is meant to find you. So get comfortable, maybe get a nice drink that you'd like, and let's just set an intention to be open to whatever comes through. One energy that I've been picking up on a lot lately is the reminder for this collective that you have done so much on your journey. Oftentimes on our spiritual transformation, because the evolution of our soul is never ending, it can feel like there's always more to heal and there's always further to go, which of course is true because this is an infinite journey that our souls are on. But there is such value in being able to look back at your lifetime and recognize and honor the sacredness of just how far you've come. And you and this collective have shown up with such courage and grace on your spiritual awakening journey. And so there's just so much beauty in that without having to look forward to certain outcomes or certain further improvements that you look forward to. There's already so much in the now moment that you can tap into and feel so much joy and feel so proud of yourself for. And with our first tarot cards coming out, we have the Page of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. And this is really exactly what I'm saying, because with the Page of Pentacles, it's this humble, grounded energy. It's the seed that we plant. And when you're constantly planting seeds, it can feel like you're constantly at the beginning or at the early stages of a journey, or there's this perspective that is not in the mindset of harvesting when you're constantly planting seeds, of course. But it's almost like Spirit is saying to look around because the harvest is all around you. And even though many of your intentions and your priorities revolve around the seeds that you're planting, because you are so dedicated to your growth and your development and your transformation and your evolution, it can sometimes be easy to forget just how much we've planted from the beginning. And with the Four of Wands, it's this celebratory energy that has been coming up in several of our recent readings. And it's such a humble and gentle feeling of victory and celebration and the security that comes with that. And it's just that little minor feeling that we can call upon in any given moment. Even if you're feeling like you're starting out a new task that seems daunting, or you're not really sure exactly what direction you want to go, or you feel like there's just so much more to do and you can feel so strongly the gap between your current self and your higher self. Of course, these are normal experiences and emotions to feel on our journey, but there is always within you that, even if it's just a tiny little reminder, a tiny little pocket, there is that feeling of celebration for how far you've come. And the reason this Four of Wands energy is so important to be able to tap into is because it is the fire that fuels our motivation and inspiration, even in times of doubt or even feelings of confusion or being directionless. The Four of Wands can always be brought to the surface, be brought to your awareness, and be utilized to have a perspective shift that allows you to see that you're exactly where you're meant to be on this journey, that there's really no need to feel any sense of lack or fear or worry about who you are or how you're showing up. Because again, with the Page of Pentacles, you have seeds planted all around you and you have harvests all around you from the past seeds that you planted. And so there really is so much abundance around you. And the Four of Wands is what's allowing you to be able to see that. We're also getting the Divine Feminine card. So, wow, this is such a powerful energy. This frequency of the Divine Feminine energy allows us to tap into and support our receptive side, our reflective side, our nurturing, our soft side. And it helps us feel connected to all of creation. And this is also so important in this concept we've been speaking on, because when you feel like you're at a reflective period, maybe you're taking a pause from taking action, the Divine Feminine is the necessary and powerful force that recalibrates and shifts your perspective to recognize just how important you are in the bigger picture of creation. And so, as we know, when we talk about Divine Feminine and masculine, it's not necessarily linked to genders, but these are energies that we have within us. And in the physical realm, we do live in a world of duality. And so we have the masculine action-taking side, and we also have the feminine reflective side. And so you are being called to honor your sacred feminine, especially if you're in a moment of feeling that doubt or feeling even stagnant. You're being called to recognize that this is nothing more than a reflective and receptive period for you, which is all part of the expansion of our consciousness and the evolution of our soul. It's that inhale and exhale of both the divine feminine and the divine masculine doing what they do best. And so with the divine feminine, you're being called to be fluid with the opportunities that are in front of you. And through that patience and surrender, that's how you're able to give birth to new ideas and dreams and even life. So I know for this collective, many of us spent a lot of time in a overly masculine energy for many years, especially because we live in a world or society that is predominantly of the wounded masculine energy. And so you prioritized your masculine energies out of a need for survival or due to your upbringing and not knowing any other way. And so through your spiritual awakening, you were called to tap into your divine feminine more and honor exactly what she had to offer so that both of them could work harmoniously together. So if that's resonating with you, then just know that the divine feminine card is coming up here to demonstrate just how far you've come from all of the seeds you're planting and how you can always find reason to celebrate how evolved your divine feminine has become because of your commitment on this transformational journey. We're also getting the compassion and authority card, and these came out together back to back. And so I'm so strongly picking up on this concept of the inner union of the divine feminine and masculine. So your compassion represents your inner divine feminine. It's your ability to release judgment, especially in the context of self-compassion and self-love, because ultimately that's the first step. Once you can really embody regularly the feelings of self-compassion and releasing judgments about your past self, judgments about your current emotions, whatever it may be, then you're able to tap into that unconditional love, which nourishes and can fulfill yourself in times of need. But it's also the divine source energy that we can draw upon through our creative projects. When we enter that creative flow and we open ourselves in that divine feminine way to receiving new ideas and dreams and insights from the time that we take to pause and reflect. So having that self-compassion is key for your development, because whether you're doing this through shadow work and somatic work of your real-time triggers, or whether you're doing this through a judgment-free, unconditional love approach to your creative passions or your creative projects, when you tap into that divine feminine energy, you have so much more flow because you're connected to source in a stronger way. And then with the authority card, this is the powerful, directed energy of the divine masculine. It's wise. It understands where its leadership is valued and recognized and can be utilized to its best ability. And so with the authority card, this is the divine masculine providing the structure and the container. Maybe this is specifically shows up as the discipline that you hold yourself to. But it's that divine masculine energy that leads and protects the divine feminine. And so these are all internal energies within you. And especially for those who seek for egoic validation or seeks tarot readings that are going to soothe your ego and tell you about external outcomes or predictions, which there's nothing wrong with that for entertainment purposes. But for those of us in this collective who are on a deep inner healing journey and a spiritual transformation that we are deeply devoted to and committed to, then what you really are focused on is your internal world, because as within, so without. So when you start embodying this self-compassion, you then are able to more easily and regularly feel compassion for those around you and release judgments that you may have had towards others in the past. You simply don't have those anymore because you've cleansed out your internal energies. And then with the authority card, you're not looking for some external source of direction or leadership, but rather you know within what the best step for you is. So if you're somebody who would constantly seek for advice or direction from others, which again, there's nothing wrong with wanting that collaboration, but for those who excessively did this to the point where they weren't allowing themselves the power and authority to make their own decisions, you're now stepping into that divine masculine that does honor your own inner knowing. And then from there, you're able to make decisions that are in alignment with your intuition and your soul's desires, your heart-led desires. And it's this alignment that only you can achieve. Only you can make those decisions for you. Only you can tap into your intuition. And so that's why this is such a powerful journey when you achieve and constantly devote yourself to achieving that harmonious balance between the inner divine feminine and inner divine masculine. That inner union, the union of self, is more important than any external union, whether it's romantic or friendship or anyone in your soul tribe. The union with self is more important than any of those external soul contracts that you'll come across in your life. And when you really tap into that, and again, with the Four of Wands and the Page of Pentacles, you know, these are humble cards, right? The Page of Pentacles is a seed. It's the seeds that we constantly plant. It's the new ideas that we constantly open ourselves to receiving, the new insights from our intuition, from our inner wisdom, from our higher self. And the Four of Wands is that knowing that we're on the right path towards success, towards growth, towards security. And so that's the underlying theme of everything we do on this spiritual transformation. We commit to the seeds that we plant, and we commit to the knowing that we are working towards success and we are in that direction. We are on that path, regardless of how we may feel in any given moment. Even in the moments where we feel down or we feel doubt, we can always tap into that Four of Wands energy and know that security is ahead of us and success is ahead of us. So I'm going to close the reading here. I hope that something resonated for you today, and I would love to hear from you in the comments, as always. And every like and subscribe means so much to me, especially as we're just starting out to build this channel and this collective. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you on the next reading. Bye.